see and hear the gunshots almost every day of your life. I can't lie to you that you get used to it, because there is no way you get used to death.
In just 3 months last year, police reported 263 gang murders in South Africa's Western Cape.
Nunca de mais sequer não fecha não. Era no doce, se os halba and uzi.
79 child deaths from gunshot wounds or stabbings, according to the local health department.
Nie like ouer as my nie wat. Hulle is like 'n bietjie ouer as my. Hulle speel met guns en like regte guns en ek het ook maar net een keer gedecide kom ek voel die ding en wat ek het net voel toe as ek ook maar net in die gang in.
Yeah, so we're not coming at the best time.
As violence stares through communities, a team led by a local church pastor is trying to stop the violence.
En die regte poste mense by tafel kry om die ding miskien te kry na 'n proper ceasefire toe man.
Ik kan niet waarom een paar rapporten gaan schieten en jou moet dan niet bij dit doen.
Also, los jy die skietery.
Wat is hy weet?
Jy dood. Dat is niet zo. Het is dood, dan maakt het gaat dood. Dat is niet zo. Het is dood gaan.
This is Cape Town, one of the wealthiest cities in Africa. But it's also one of the most unequal and divided cities, and is the country's gang capital. More than 100 gangs are fighting for control of the lucrative drug trade. Violence is largely concentrated in a series of townships known as the Cape Flats. In Hanover Park, a neighbourhood of just 50,000 people, shootings and stabbings occur almost daily.
The problem we do have is violence. Violence on a new level. I think what makes it very, very terrible now is because there is more children involved in the gangs. Because gangs are recruiting between the age of 8 years old and 15 years old. And when a child gangster runs into a group of children, acting like he's a child, the gang shoot the whole group of children. So you get 6, 7 children get shot and killed. Hello boy, how are you? Hello, sorry man, hoe gaat het?
There has been a shooting in the night.
Okay. Hello.
Pastor Craven Engel, working with a team of reformed gangsters, is trying to calm tensions.
Hoe is 3 o'clock aan bij man?
Het was haar kanon, wat zij vroeg maar weer.
Oh, oké. Jo, hier voor die deur?
Ja.
Yes.
Kijk, zij schiet over mij geskrik.
Nou.
En ik niet gestaan, terwijl ik nog wel misschien gezegd geskrik. Maar als je gangster en wat je gezien hebt uitgepeerd.
Natuurlijk ja.
En ik heb die hoor, ik heb ze afgeskrik.
Maar die klompskool is het ook is via een plek.
Ja, dat is
An 18-year-old man is in a critical condition, having been caught in the crossfire.
So, Glenn het met mij gezegd van die bizarheid wat gebeurt.
Sit past en
Kan ik maar zeggen? Oké, sorry. Thanks. Hij heeft me nog gezegd van die incident wat gebeurt. Toen zei ik, maar kijk maar, hoe kan die ding vroegtijdig geresolved worden, man?
I mean, we were sitting here, we were waiting for supper time. And then I just heard the shots. My seun, my youngste seun,
Your youngest son took
yes,
him in.
took him with our car to hospital because ons het nie meer emergency service.
But they don't come in the area, must know.
They don't want to come in the area, and we don't even get police visibility like we want to.
Yeah.
The police van is gonna stand there.
Yeah.
Maar daar gaat niemand, daar gaan nie 'n ambulance
Come
komen.
in. No, the ambulance, I know they don't come. Some of the communities already talking about maybe a retaliation. So now you've got a shooter on the loose somewhere that is doing and continuing maybe what he's doing. So we need to tone that shooter down.
The police say they've increased deployments across the Cape Flats, with a team stationed in Hanover Park. But families continue to live in fear. 15 kilometers east of Hanover Park, in West Bank Township, another family is grieving the loss of their child.
Soos jy kan sien hier is, die was 'n bullet hole in hierdie, en hy hier geslaap. En dan is hier, die wat in sy rug, wat sy rug gevang het, die tweetjies.
In February, their 4-year-old son Davin was killed when a series of bullets were fired into their home.
We used to sit here in the morning and we watched them to how they play from close to close, but never past the closest. Like now she sit here alone outside and asked me, where's my brother? So I told her, no, he's by Jesus. In Daddy's heart and in my heart. I said, yeah, Papa, it is so, yeah. Because in the day she was used to her brother, morning wake up, eat together, play together, sleep together. Yeah. So, yeah.
2 years ago, his 12-year-old sister, Kelly Amber, was also killed in crossfire.
Ja, ik het geschreven vir jou. Ik het dus as gevoel gelijk, ik raak mal en gezegd, ja, alsjeblieft toch weer kunt en uitgehaald. Ik heb mezelf gedacht, ik ging niet om wie buiten kan staan of wat. Het geschreven, toen komen ze neighbor uit. Die oor die pad, dat is ook een medical. Ze werkt bij die medic. Maar toen, ik ging over mijn heet Davin. Maar zij kon gezien dat Davin wou. Maar ik kon niet en...
Maar is het zeer? Omdat hij is mijn enigste boy wat ik heb. Maar al wat ik vraag niet tegen iets. Ik zoek niet zasters.
This is the Church and Community Center, where the pastor and his team are based.
Hanover Park doesn't really have an economy as to speak of. The most thriving economy is to sell one kind of a substance. The bulk of the economy comes out of the drug culture. That's the biggest economy.
They mediate gang conflicts and treat violence like a disease. Their focus, detection, interruption, and changing mindsets.
Our whole aim is to reduce the violence within the community so that people can be safer, kids can walk safely to school, and children can play outside. And also get gangs to talk to one another.
The team is trying to negotiate a temporary ceasefire between two warring factions, the Ghetto Kids and the OTFs.
Hi, good morning, Abby, Glenn, and Wesley. Listen, and tell me, did we get an appointment with those guys that we can come see them this morning? Did they give permission for us to come? Let me know what's happening, no? But let me know. Thanks. So also give him a call quickly. Abby, listen, tell me, wat gaan Anna ask met ons appointment gekry? Hey? Okay, thanks. Alright, hey, Abby. Alright, bye.
The gang boss they want to speak to, whose word counts on the streets, is in prison.
Hallo?
Passie, wat sê Passie, alright?
Ek is alright, my bro, man. Ek try mos om vir jou te phone vanoggend. Om te hoor of jy weet van die ceasefire wat mos nou aan die gang is hier in die backstreets en tussen Cowboy Town en die jungle en die OTF's en die ghettos.
Ek het vir hulle nou die ander dag gesê self, ek is 'n man, as ek dinge wil laat gebeur, dan gebeur dit nog altyd. En Pastor ken vir my, as ek is iemand, as ek aan die fire kom en dan counter ek, sien Pastor en die skietery gaan nog altyd aan.
En die regte poste mense by tafel kry om die ding miskien te kry na 'n proper ceasefire toe, man.
Nou kom dat ek vir Pastor gou so 'n voorbeeld maak, as hulle almal die different skooltjies eers te begin te stig, en daai is waar die moeilikheid inkom.
Altijd wat los je die skietery. Ons het wel gesê, net die skietery moet hulle nou los en net mekaar respek vir nou. So, alright my friend, alright. Sterkte aan man, bro, bye. How does a kid get shot 7 times in his head or 3 times in his back? A stray bullet hits a kid. How does a kid get targeted and get killed, assassination style? And that to us, it's very sad. How to solve that? It's a big issue.
Their program had been getting government money, but that has since dried up. Hanover Park was built during apartheid as a segregated mixed-race community. It was designed to keep people of color away from affluent white families. There are still very few opportunities.
We can't go on year after year, century after century, just blaming apartheid, but it sits at the base. Apartheid was actually designed to cripple a nation 30 years after a handover to a democratic government. It's happening. There's a self-destruction happening.
Nando Johnson is a shooter in a gang called the Mongrels. But he's had enough.
Op die reden wat maak het, ik het verpaasd gevraagd te hebben. Was daar niet misschien een betere plan voor ons om te uitwerken, maar om te dingen. Zoals ik zei, voor de jaren wat ons nou aan Mongrels is, kunnen we strong uit. Andere broers kita man doen, zij gaat strong toe. Zo rechtvaardig moet ook aankomen.
Wat soort roof of poging of wat het jy al gedoen nou, as jy mens nou moet terugkyk?
As jy nou moet terugkyk, meeste ek het nie mense ek net moet kan. Hier uit die dinge sien ek net 2 options. As hy is te zeggen Toronto, jy gaat doen.
The pastor's team is offering them a way out.
Nando and Bradley joined the Mongrel gang as youngsters. We could almost say they're born into the Mongrel gang because, it's the whole family was already involved. We zoom in where the need is needed most. We negotiate gang conflicts among different gangs and look at which members would like to make an exit or change their behavior, change their life. Thank you.
Okay.
So we're gonna see if these guys are serious about changing their life. Yeah, you're good. The one recently came out of prison, so we're gonna see how it goes. Yeah, you're good. Hey, my bro.
Is dit nie mijn man? Was?
Huh? Ons allemaal was niet daar geweest. Raar, hij man zo. Hij zit daar mooi recht met zijn gouden tand. Wat stoot was ons geweest aan onze tijd. En dan zit je ook aan om het eens te maken. Alright.
Ja.
Hier komen we even dag voor jou al. Is hij recht wat dag?
Is dat recht? Ja, meneer.
En die staakse van die is, man. Zo kan je opbouwen. Zo kan je in het jobpunt komen. Zo kan je je geld in mogen. Of ze niet hier rond te skarrelen. Is iemand wat hier nou brengen. Dat is recht mee, broer. Oké. Ah, zei.
En als je broers net afzien?
Als kan die broers afzien, ja? There's like a new norm that was accepted that we are derailed. There's no hope for us, so we are trying to break that norm.
Ik wil tijd van als altijd wijn, als een plan. Zo ik het bepaald vragen, als het daar is misschien een plan naar uitweg, kan pas me gaan.
He'll join a 6 to 12 week program of rehabilitation, run by the pastor and funded by charitable donations, designed to get people off drugs and into work.
We gaan hem baie gauw in die week indruk, laat hy iets kan verdien, man. No? Iets kan verdien. Kijk hier, voor je help en zo. Hij wil, ja.
For Nando's mum, there's still hope.
Maar Nando's pa was een gangster. Maar mijn andere kinderen pa was geen gangster niet. Hij was een gentleman. Maar hij was nou een gangster en daarvan hadden die kinderen nog een gangsterisme gegaan. En ik heb baie gepraat met hulle in die. En het was voor mij, it wasn't easy. Het was niet makkelijk voor mij om 4 boys groot te maken. En alleen gewerkt voor hulle. Ik praat baie met hem. Ik is baie lief voor hem.
This is where the gunshots meet. Living on the border, it's living with fear. Yeah, it's living with fear because anytime bullets can deflect and come in and take anyone's life.
At the boundary where 2 rival gangs meet, the fighting is most intense.
Yeah. Are you living here now with them? Okay, thankful. So we know there's some post of something happening. Okay.
There's no figure.
I know.
Marcelino is afraid for his younger nephew, 16-year-old Esteban.
Esteban is the young man that we detected about when he was 12 years old. Our system detected a possible formation of a gang. And I said, let's target this kid, man, and get this kid out of this group. It took us 3 years. He's a true success story. And they've got a positive uncle that's helping the rest of the family find their way. But he would have been today one of these high-risk gang leaders.
Ja, ek het dagse proses om mense seer te maak, mense te rob, val op die grond en ek kruip in huis toe en hy skiet my niefie al deur die holbanke wat die kwaai gesit vir my nie en soos hulle ons geskiet het en toe besluit ek op niks is kwaai om nog 'n gangster te visie van meeste van die kinders is doodgeskiet en as jy lekker om te sien hoe hulle iemand doodskiet voor jou nie en daai is waar ek my oë oopgemaak het.
Nando has arrived at rehab.
Hello, gentlemen, hello. How's things? Hi, you all right?
It's a huge step for a young man who has only ever known gang life.
So net 'n lekker respek en dissipline met hulle twee. As dit 'n walk in the park. No? We've got various ways to sort of alter behaviors, The first thing we need to do is to get you to feel the pain and the hurt of your family, your community, and even those around you. Because if you can't feel pain and have no empathy with other people, there's nothing we can do for you.
Is ook maar net die beste van my familie. Hy sal wat ek voor hou.
He's gonna bring you a chair now quickly. Hy gaan goed net wat voor hom net so hier invul, no?
Nando Johnson. Hy is met date of birth.
Okay. What substance?
Hij was een stuk in Mongrels.
Taka.
Daar.
With Taka, Tik, and Mongrels, huh? What's a key role in your gangs?
I'm in the gangs.
You must put your name and sign here. Nando Johnson, huh?
Dis nog nou 'n second chance vir jou. Dis nou 'n new beginning.
Ja.
'n fresh
start, ja.
Maar daar's mos nou mense wat sê Waarbij je gekomen met mensen wat dit dingen aangemoed wat die een second chance krijgen. Hoe voelt je dat?
Ik ga niet praten van mijn passie, man. Ik ga praten van mij en wat voel ik voor mijn toekomst. So wat gebeur het met die mensen, het gebeur dieselfde met my mensen.
Almost 70% of our young people is addicted to some kind of a substance, of methamphetamine, heroin, and cocaine. Most of them are environmentally contaminated with violence, with drugs, and with domestic violence. Most of them, because they grow up in a hostile area. So the trauma doesn't get dealt with. So kids are using different kinds of substances just to tone down the trauma in their brains.
Davin is still getting help. Nando's journey is just beginning.
What were some of the consequences that you experienced, Davin, because of your lifestyle of drugs and gangsterism?
What I experienced, like a nice home bed and stuff between you and your family don't connect so nice, and that's why I did belong on the road, begging on the street. Like,
and was it hard?
It was very hard because like you must look your own thing.
Yeah, okay.
Nobody will look out for you. You must do wrong stuff to get
survive.
your own things, and that's how we did survive.
Sure. And how do you feel today?
I feel like great because I did made it in life, and I am like 8 months clean. And
Wow. You have a positive outlook?
yes, Auntie
You have a
Martina.
vision for your life? Nando, if I think about you, I want to hear about you. What is your plan?
I want to be a good man for my children, and I want to go work.
Good.
And yes, I just want to fix myself where I can enjoy. Because the time I did lose a lot of friends, brothers, like all this stuff.
Yeah.
The things I do, I'm not going to jail with it. So that is the things that make me sometimes so inside me.
Yes.
Everybody understand that community there. It's difficult to change in such a small community, and everybody hinges off one another. So to get out there, it's quite difficult, you know. To grow up there is quite difficult. So his decision, I don't take it lightly. I take it as a very bold decision.
Wow.
I take it as a man who really made up his mind. With Nando, I'm very impressed.
Awesome. That's amazing. Awesome.
As tensions rise, the pastor's team is trying to hold the temporary ceasefire in place.
The situation is a little bit tense because they walking on each other's grounds.
Ja, ik alleen zo.
Okay.
The OTF gang wants to meet and talk.
You see that light here, okay, no? I try maar misschien iets zoals te trappen.
Former gang members, Glenn and Abby, are sent to negotiate.
Ceasefire week, ek lees soos die man. Ons begin met 'n 7 days, right? Ceasefire, dan is daar met die rules en die wette, ons gaan mekaar se pad oor mekaar se gronde loopie, right?
Maar wat Allah gaat dan. Zo, attack te doen. Hij gaat staan in.
Mama ja. Maar nog een ceasefire.
Kan nog een punt daar. Zij respect op die Ramadan man.
Hij is het.
Moslims.
Allahu Akbar.
Kyk, maar ja, ik was ook mos in die game man. Maar solank zij 'n besluit gemaak het, ek gaan 'n beter persoon raak. Daai is al.
As dit ging.
Ah.
En ons vat me gaan skiet. Toe meer ons skiet dood. Kry ons grond. En van op die grond gaan dus met 'n boom. So my One Piece. Ik kan niet een besluit maken van Piece. Want hij is mijn besluit van Piece. Ook als hij hoe precies wat je toen na Ramadan.
But peace rarely lasts more than a few days in Hanover Park. That night, 2 people are killed in a drive-by shooting. A young woman is injured in the crossfire. 2 days later, a gunman is seen firing off a series of rounds.
Nobody's going to come from anywhere to help, to save us, not from overseas, not from our local government. Nobody's going to come with a magic wand to cure the Cape Flats. As individuals, we need to be so determined to build up resilience, create hope for our people, and to grow. Because politics has clearly failed us. People close to me have died in this gang violence. I didn't stop doing this work. My own brother-in-law was shot in this gang violence. I didn't stop doing this work.
Amen. 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 Be blessed. You may be seated. Greetings in Jesus' name.
Amen. I think the one thing that really cripples us in society today is fear. We become so anxious and we worry about things that we can do nothing about. People, I have been in conflict mediations for over the last 20 years with young people, young men, women that made peace. And just after that, there's a lot of conflict. But I sit there with this thing in my heart, Lord, I pray that the peace of God will flood this room. Sitting right here. We continue because there's a cause. And the cause drives us to continue with the work we do. There's a chorus that says, and I want you to sing it with me, we are marching over to Jerusalem. We are marching over to Jerusalem.